Talks have suffered a setback, with Israel announcing the acceleration of settlement building in occupied East Jerusalem as compensation for the release of 26 Palestinian political prisoners. This is illegal under international law and one of the conditions threatening the current peace negotiations. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has said he won't sign any peace deal with Israel unless all Palestinian prisoners are freed. Now, for the latest, we are joined on the line from Ramallah by our SABC Correspondent Mel Frykberg. Mel, good morning to you, or good afternoon rather. How is the mood like in and around Ramallah since the release of the 26 Palestinian political prisoners?
Most Palestinians are not impressed at all. Although they're happy that these prisoners were released, they're basically unhappy with the peace talks in general because the settlement construction in East Jerusalem and the West Bank is continuing. Other Palestinians are being arrested. So although there was some excitement in the Palestinian government headquarters, the Makata itself, most Palestinians believe the peace talks are going to lead nowhere, and I think most Israelis agree on that as well.
Now, to what extent will Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's announcement that the government planned to construct the 1,500 additional housing units over the international recognized Green Line derail the peace efforts in the Gaza Strip?
Well, these 1,500 new housing units are in East Jerusalem, and it's in a suburb where one of the suburbs where Palestinian residents have an enormous problem getting building permits to build new homes. There's a chronic shortage of housing in East Jerusalem for Palestinians, although Israeli settlers are encouraged by the Israeli government to go there with financial incentives and politically. So Palestinians are forced to build their homes without building permits, and then the Israelis demolish their homes, which leads to them being homeless. And the Interior Ministry has actually admitted that these new projects that it has in East Jerusalem are purposely to block Palestinian construction in the neighborhoods. And those building of the 1,500 housing units is only one particular project they have in mind. They have three other projects in mind too, which were temporarily halted because the Israeli government was worried about international pressure. But following pressure from its own right-wing government, coalition members, they're going ahead with this because they are afraid of their own coalition government breaking up due to pressure from the right-wingers.
Do you get a sense that the Palestinians' demands for the release of all Palestinian prisoners as a precondition for any future peace deal be accepted by Israel?
No, it won't be accepted by Israel, and I think that move was basically by Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas to try and gain as much political capital he could out of this recent prisoner release, because he's not very popular with a lot of Palestinians. And this was his way of trying to show that his government has achieved something with the Israelis, because the Israelis are continuing on every other issue that is a problem for the Palestinians, such as the building in East Jerusalem, the building in the West Bank, the other Palestinian prisoners, Palestinians that continue to be arrested, the siege on the Gaza Strip, etc. So that even with the peace talks, the Israelis are continuing with these moves, but that was one little area of success he wanted to promote. So I think they just were making as much political capital as they could have out of last night's release.
Thank you so much. That was Mel Frykberg, SABC's correspondent.